Welcome to the Family Home Podcast with Courtney and Michael Adamo. We are so excited to bring you the special 8-part mini-series to celebrate the launch of our new book, The Family Home. Over the next few weeks, we'll be diving into the themes of the book and talking about how to create a home filled with warmth and connection and intention. We'll be sharing our own experiences, chatting with inspiring guests, and exploring everything from family rituals to home organization tips. And the best part is pre-orders for the family home are now open. Pre-ordering is the best way to support this book, and we are so excited for you to finally have it in your hands after all this time. And we've popped a link in the notes below for you to pre-order if you'd like. Today, we're talking about the importance of family rituals in the home and how rituals can help bring more connection to our family, more joy, more excitement for our children. And Michael, we've talked about rituals in several chapters. Michael's here as well. We've talked about rituals in several chapters of the book. There isn't a specific chapter just on rituals, but we've sprinkled kind of the importance of that throughout the book. It's obviously a very important theme for us in our own family. And so we are actually bringing on a guest. We'll be speaking with Elizabeth Antonia in just a few minutes. We're super excited to be chatting with her. In the meantime, we just thought we'd share some of our own thoughts on family rituals.
Yeah, well, I mean, family rituals isn't something that I actually even gave any thought to before becoming a parent. And even in the early years of having children, it's not something that was top of mind for me. But thankfully for Courtney, it was. And it was something that from the very early days, she wanted to establish for our children and for our family. And over time, I really grew to understand the importance of these things. Maybe a one place to go from here is just to give some examples of the kind of stuff you initiated early on and,
Yeah.
it's evolved.
Well, I think Michael and I both come from really big families. I'm the eldest of 5 and he's the eldest of 8.
7.
Up 7. 7. And we both, I think, without maybe even appreciating it in our childhoods, we came from families where rituals were an integral part of our family life. They're definitely, for me, they make the bulk of my kind of happiest childhood memories. My mom was really, really good about kind of sprinkling these rituals, seasonal rituals. We grew up in a Catholic family, so did Michael actually, and so a lot of the rituals were tied to the religious holidays and events. But my mom was also really good at just having fun sort of rituals that weren't tied to religious events. And it just I think it really adds to the magic of childhood. So a lot of our rituals in our family, some of them come from our own childhoods, um, but a lot of them actually come, have just been kind of,
We've
have just happened. Or I guess in many ways, like living in Europe, we adopted a lot of the rituals from there.
Mhm.
The birthday crowns and the birthday bunting, that was because we had Dutch friends and we picked up that birthday crown in a shop in Belgium, in Antwerp. And that was a thing that they do there. And it became a tradition for our family very early on. And I think so. A lot of our rituals come from that.
Yeah.
We had really good friends. The husband was French and the wife was Swedish, and they always celebrated midsummer and the longest day of the year. And so that became a thing for us as well. And I think it just happened that we would just add these rituals. And I think even still we're adding them.
Yeah, they're always evolving,
Yeah.
and we're coming up with new ones, and then there's some that the kids really gravitate towards, and then
Yeah. And they remind you if you've forgotten or
yes, yeah, they're very aware of what the next, tradition or ritual is that's coming up in the calendar year. So,
Yeah, and they'll kind of say, "Oh, are we doing this? And don't forget this." The teenagers like to remind you.
yeah.
But it's fun because you can start new ones. Like a few years ago, I remember we bought a bouquet of flowers for Ivy on the day before her birthday. We were coming home from school, and I thought, oh, it'd be nice to have flowers for the table for her birthday. And so every year since then, I've done that because I thought it was so sweet that she got to kind of one day early get this little surprise, and it made her feel special. And then she woke up with fresh flowers on the table. And so I've tried to do that for the last couple of years since then. And I think that's something I want to do,
Yeah,
moving forward. So you can kind of start new rituals and traditions in your family at any point.
absolutely.
One of our favorite ones, and one that we've written about in the book, are Saturday morning pancakes. This actually comes from Michael's childhood.
Yeah, it wasn't so much a tradition in my family, but it was um, and every now and again, my mother would make crepes, so we called them skinny pancakes in our house, and they were so delicious, and it was so unusual that we got that breakfast that it was a favorite thing, and we would always ask for it. And I think just because it was a lot of work for her, and she only had one pan that would make the crepes well, she wasn't that keen to do it. But whenever she did,
You loved it.
we loved it. And so when we had young kids and they were, starting to eat solids, and um, the weekends rolled around, I decided I would try making those crepes, and then that just became a tradition. And then the kids started joining in on the crepe making, as best they could when they were 3 or 4 years old. And then it just became a thing we did every weekend. And then the recipes kind of evolved, so it extended to different types of pancakes, fat American pancakes, or um, Danish skivers, or
Well, what we do is we have the kids want skinny pancakes on the Saturday and fat pancakes on the Sunday. Um, the fat pancakes can be anything from fat American, fluffy pancakes, to Ebelskivers, to the waffles even. But it's just something the kids love. It's one of our favorite things, and we've really prioritized it. So even if friends are going to the beach on a Saturday and the waves are really good, we don't usually skip it, do we? We
no,
we
no,
really
never skipped it. And we've also done it when we've been traveling.
Yeah.
We've made skinny pancakes in Tokyo, and we've made them in South America, and we've made them all over the world, really, because the kids love that tradition, and it really makes the weekend special for them.
Yeah. So I think rituals can be around food like that. There was growing up, my mom always made butter horns, which was like cinnamon rolls on Christmas morning and Easter morning. And we now do that for our family. And so you can have rituals around food, but you can also have even small things like lighting candles at the dinner table,
Mm.
playing backgammon after dinner. That's what we like to do together. Little small kind of moments where you can connect as a family, or just that bring a little bit more magic to your
Every day.
everyday.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited to bring on Elizabeth Antonia. She has written a book on rituals and traditions for young kids from 0 to 7 years old. It's called The Early Riser Companion. She is a good friend. We've been friends since we were both pregnant. I was pregnant with Marlo, and she was pregnant with Frankie. They are now 12 and a half years old, so we've been friends for a long time. Um, she's an advocate for slow and intentional living. She's originally from California, but she now lives with her family on Orcas Island in Washington State, which is actually very close to where I grew up. It's such a special part of the world. I was very jealous when she moved there. And she continues to explore the beauty of nature, family rituals, and the art of mindful parenting. So, like I said, she's a mother of two girls. And we're going to bring her on now. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Sorry, I was like, I think I need to close a million programs that I
Oh, yeah, we always have to do the same. Turn the phone off and
I'm like, Photoshop, Illustrator. They do. How are
How are you
and,
doing?
and I put my dog in the car because he's very loud.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate that. Thank you to your dog for
Yeah, for sitting this out.
Pepe. He's named after Pepe.
Hey, no way. From Positano.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. We have a little Italian waiter
Oh,
at home.
that's so cute. I love that we have Positano in common as a very special place on this planet to both of us.
Absolutely. I love it so much. It's good to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you. We're so excited to be talking about family rituals. You were the first person to come to mind when we think of this. We just gave a little intro before you joined the call, but you are the author of Early Riser Companion, and this really sits either next to my bed or right here next in a shelf next to my at my desk next to my computer, and it's something I reference all the time, continually, even though I've read it. Front to back so many times, like so many good ideas in there for rituals and traditions and ways to sprinkle magic into our children's childhood. So we'll be talking about that. I thought the first thing you could just do is paint a picture of what family life looks like for you right now, just so people listening can just get a sense of who you are and what family life looks like.
Yes. Well, I want to say thank you also for being a part of Early Riser.
So that was such a fun couple of days at the beach.
Definitely. So, yeah, I love that you're in it as well. Right now is, gosh, it's such an interesting time. I have a 12-year-old daughter and a 16-year-old. And so obviously it's like such a different phase that I love and I think requires a lot of inner attention and outer work, of course, maybe even more so than when they're little. And I live on Orcas Island, so it's a really small community. It's about 5,000 people. I don't know how many full time, but over the last like 4 or 5 years, like it has had a really big influx of like young families, which has been amazing. And I think the girls got here at an age we were able to like really integrate easily into the community because of their ages. Like they're 8 and 12 at the time. So I mean, it's always easier when you have younger children to get involved. So, yeah, I mean, life has really, in a lot of ways, like slowed way down. And
Yeah.
um, we were living in LA before,
Yeah.
and I was commuting back and forth between LA and Orcas Island as creative director of Ergo Baby.
Yeah.
So that I left about 2 years ago because we also started a restaurant. So it's just been one thing after another, just kind of we're really still very much in these householder years, but also creatively exploring like what we want to do with our lives, which has been a privilege, for sure. And also just really fun to be able to have the space to do that.
I love
So
that about you guys. You're always coming up with new creative ideas, and your husband Michael is like the ultimate juggler of businesses and entrepreneurial ideas, and it's so inspiring to see the way that you prioritize those things in your life, and also just how enthusiastic you can be for all these new ideas. I can't
yeah,
believe you've been on Orcas Island for 4 years. Has it been 4 years?
in June. Yeah.
That's wild to me. I feel like I could move there.
I know, I know. And yeah, definitely. I mean, it takes a little it took like a year to kind of get our legs here and also really truly kind of like off gas so much of the convenience of our life before.
Yeah.
I would say the things that just like, you take for granted of just having so much choice at your fingertips, but truly, we wanted a different experience for the girls as they were going into these later years, and, like, kind of the last years we were gonna have them. I love being with my family,
Mm.
and, I really cherish my time with them. Like, I have an older sister who has 5 kids, and she started a lot younger than I did. Like, she was a teenage mom, and I really got to see how fast it went. Her youngest is now 22. So I think it really just was such a good learning for me to really just like the minute you get used to something, like transitions to something new. And in a lot of ways, like that kind of mirrors this whole thing, where we're just saying like, don't get too attached to like anything,
Yeah.
like it's any bad moment in your life or winter or for whatever it might be. And so I mean, which is right now like a big thing for me because I'm like,
Yeah.
please, can we please be over winter? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I lost my train of thought, but yeah,
Oh,
just
I think it's so wonderful to be able, well, Michael and I can definitely relate to that, to making a choice, an intentional decision to change things for your family so that you can slow down the pace of your life and spend more time together. That was definitely,
Yeah, our big motivation in moving here
yeah,
and leaving London. Yeah.
and leaving London and it does come with compromises. And
sure.
I think you've ultimately slowed down. I mean, you can't go anywhere without a ferry boat and relying on unreliable ferry boat schedules and
Yeah.
which I just love. I think at last time that we saw each other, you were telling me you were taking Elodie to driving lessons, and you have to go on a ferry to get to those. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I it's funny because it's like I think that sometimes it is confronting, you know? And then other times I love it. So it's kind of just like life, you know? You just make the decision for as long as you're able to make this decision, and then if something else needs to push through, then you just kind of like face it as it comes along. But yeah, it can be really confronting. I would say that's a good word, like for being somewhere, like a little fishbowl in a way.
Yeah.
And it's taught me so much. I don't know. I feel like I'm constantly just like growing and changing because of that decision, and also just less distraction. You really get to sit with yourself, and uh which is really important, right now, especially with them, to teach them that pause. I think that's like been the thing I've just been reflecting on the most lately
Mm.
is how much we need to pause as humans in this society, and then how hard it is sometimes having a teenager who just got a car and is pushing the curfew and whatever it might be, or even the younger one like doing things that you just that are so new, and you're like, that's not who you are, but then you're like, yeah, I mean, she's just becoming who she is, so I just need to, yeah,
Hard and change. I think that stage, that 12, 13 stage is so tricky because they're just starting to leave childhood and enter adolescence, and with that comes so many changes, and it can be so heartbreaking for parents to watch that. Like, we're definitely going through it with Marlo, who's the same age as Frankie, and uh, yeah, so often I'm just like, no, no, but that's not who you are, like you said. But you're right. It's like,
yeah, it is. It's really check yourself,
yeah, yeah.
Humbling. I'm very humbled. I'm humbled.
Yeah. So let's talk about family rituals. That's why we're here. You are the ultimate
Oh.
woman and mother when it comes to these. I'd love for you just to share, I guess, your favorite daily or weekly or seasonal rituals, and also maybe first you could talk about why you think they're important for a family and for young kids especially.
I mean, they come up in so many ways, and I think a lot of them is to mark the passage of time. Um, and then also there's just more practical ones where you're like, do I need to reinvent the wheel every dinner? Or do I mean, I just think that we just make our lives so much harder than it needs to be when we don't have these things in place to kind of like keep um that in breath and out breath. That's where like I borrow that from Waldorf, for sure. It's like that. It's really just we have to breathe. Our life force is through breath. And so really seeing it that way of just like expansion, contraction, as we move through our days is just so vital.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, even like the little things like to get them out the door in the morning. I'm not an early riser. I don't like getting up early. I'm a full night owl, and everything I talk about or do is because I don't do it naturally. Like, I'm totally, like, such a spaz, and my closets are cluttered, and my car is a mess, and I'm like, "I have to do these things for myself because I need that steady beat."
Yeah.
I need those things for me, and so it's kind of easy to transition into them because I need them so much, and that's the only reason I could even speak to it is because I need it more than anything. Um, I need to know what's for dinner, you know? I need to not, feel like I don't know, I think there's just we take in so much all the time that we can get these harebrained ideas like, "Oh, we have to, try this recipe," or whatever. I keep going back to food, I don't know why. But,
It's a big one.
Yeah.
yeah, it's an everyday it's every
Yeah.
day, right? But I could just say, even at nighttime, I'd say the nighttime right now is a really big, point of ritual for us because I feel like everyone has such different activities in the daytime,
Mhm.
and the evening is really where we can come together. And we typically always have dinner together, and then, we'll go about maybe an hour or 2, do our own thing, but then, I'll make a tea, like a herbal infusion for whoever wants it, but typically it's Frankie at this moment, and, we'll read Lord of the Rings, like, so we have, like, something we do that is not TV during the week, that is almost like every season we choose a new book to do. As long as she'll let me do that, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And I think that it's so fun to, like, tackle a really big one like that. So that's what we're doing, like, right now. I just say, like, winding down, I think is just really, really important. I think also, like, with having a teenager who has a phone now, just having those non-negotiable, like, the phone needs to be downstairs at this time. Absolutely, you're not sleeping with it and managing the downtime. So it's like that may not be a ritual, but it is. It's something that we do every night.
Yeah.
It's a steady beat that we're hold. It's a boundary
Yeah.
and it keeps order. It keeps order, or else it just like slips into chaos so easily. I feel
Yeah, I love that's a good reminder that rituals can be boundaries and like you said, that is what keeps that steady beat. And I know you and I both we all have children at Waldorf or Steiner schools, and there is that importance of out breath and in breath, and how obviously it's so easy to find moments of out breath, that those are forced upon us and our kids. But definitely trying to find those in moments of in-breath and, introspection and calm and, just being still. So important, and I love that rituals provide that opportunity. I feel like you're also so good at, I mean, especially when your children were young, the songs, the poems,
yeah, yeah.
the birthday traditions.
They still hold that. Like even now, they want that poem every night before bed on their birthday. They always ask for that, even though it's like when I have said my evening prayers, which we don't really do,
Yes.
you know, and Papa, it's really like a very young poem, but they want it and they want that candle and now they make, the Santa Lucia buns or whatever it might be. Now they hold that beat, and it's really neat to see when they're the ones who bring the flowers and or, diffuse the essential oils or decide what's for dinner and make the table beautiful, just bringing like little bits of beauty in.
Mhm.
Uh yeah, I think there's a million ways that they do that themselves, and so, yeah, there's the seasonal ones, and then I mean, even this is, like, the silly one that we have on St. Patrick's Day, we, watch Darby O'Gill and the Little People, which is a super old, silly, Disney movie from, like, 1960 with Sean Connery, and it's, like, Leprechaun and all that, and then, they get Lucky Charms once a year. they're like thrilled to have them. And like they'll have their bowl and I'm like, okay, now this has to go after that. But I don't know, it's a kind of a way to like, I mean, I'm not super crazy about that kind of stuff, but I definitely like to make it a treat if I can. And that's like we don't really have cereal like that. So
Yeah.
even at 16, it's just it's fun for them to have those little
It's so fun, and I love that it's something that they look forward to. It's something they know every year at that time, and like you said, it marks a time for them. Even when you're young, I think especially when they're young and they don't have that concept of time, it's really helpful to kind of define
Mm.
the where they are in the year, sort of
Yeah.
seasonally and those and they get excited and it brings the magic, and we totally agree with what you said about the kids kind of almost reminding you if you've forgotten or like Ivy, she's the one in our family who wants to remind us all the time, like, "Don't forget, like, this one is coming," and it's like, "I haven't forgotten," but she wants us
I
to
love it.
to 'em, you know?
And that like speaks to her who she is too, which is really, really neat to see their personalities
It
come
is.
forward in that way.
Yeah. So how like, I obviously, your kids, when they were younger, were at a Waldorf school, and that has, I'm assuming, influenced a lot of the traditions and I guess the way I mean, what Waldorf does so well are the festivals, the honoring the seasons is kind of what they do so well. So, has that been an influence for you? Certainly for us, it has been.
Definitely. I we had this really beautiful school. Actually, you went to Village Play Garden in Altadena,
Yeah.
um, that actually burned down in the fires, and it makes it even just so much sweeter thinking about the rituals and who- the person who's heavily influenced me, Kakanza, the owner of the school. She also passed last year, but she taught me much more than about so much about Waldorf, but also about I'm just bringing this up. This is not relating to what you say, but it is really important to me in the past is nonviolent communication,
Mm.
which I don't know if you've heard of NVC, but it's just a way of speaking to children, and also you can carry it into your life as well, that kind of forces you to really pause and observe, like, when you have a conflict, and then think about, like, what the need is, and then frame your request, and I think she did that with love in in her daily classroom and with the parents, but then also, I don't know, there was a way that she wove it into, like, all the Waldorf traditions that was, like, just different than I've seen at other Waldorf schools, and so I just wanted to bring that up because I think it's something that's not as I don't know, I don't hear people talk about it as much, but it's such a beautiful way of, communicating, and so, um she just was always really in her own playful, wondrous self to sing along with the kids and tell them stories and slow down, and it was just I don't know, it just really influenced me and
Mhm.
how I've been with the girls, I feel like, because she even said, like, "In a slow program, Francesca needs it slower." And so it's just being able to, like, recognize the people who were with you,
Yeah.
in your house. It's like the souls who were with you. It's just I don't know, it's just a special way to kind of relate to each other that I really love.
I
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's so special about Waldorf is, like, the anthroposophic anthroposophic yeah, I know, why am I so
Yeah.
Worcestershire sauce.
Uh, I'm so sorry, we've got a lawn someone's deciding
Of all day,
to mow the lawn
Yeah.
next to us. I don't know if you
I can't hear anything.
okay,
Okay, that's
great.
good.
Um, I guess to wrap it up, because our book is about the family home and how the home can help us embrace those rituals and slow down and spend that time together and bring us together and find more connection. Would you have any tips on how your home can help you do that, or how in your home you've set up corners or parts of your home that help bring you together? Or do you have a favorite part of your house that does that?
Yeah. I do think, like, your home environment is, I mean, it's your sanctuary, right? It is the place that you can retreat from the outside world. I mean, it's so special like that, and a place where you can, I don't know, I think our whole house is just so happy, and we bring in so much from, like, our travels and, light and color, and just, for me, I just wanna have a happy home, like, a happy feeling home, and that's just an energetic thing, and for me, it's about, like, making this space to help regulate everyone in the home, because you can feel, like, when there's, like, negative energy in the home, and you don't know where it begins and ends, what, like, who brought it in, are they on their phone, like, or have they had a bad, like, a meeting with someone, whatever it is, or are they going through something at school? It is a place to retreat to, and, for me, also, like, being able to create a space where I can be with them, like, maybe watching a show even, so I can touch them, because, like, as they get older, you can't, they don't wanna, not that they don't wanna be touched as much, but it's just a way to,
Yeah.
do, like, a little hand massage or something, so, I don't know, I think every area of our home is kind of like that, but I like our
Sure.
bathroom. I like our
Room.
bathroom. Mhm. I love, like, our bathrooms are really fun for, the tile and everything that we chose to be in them, and just the rooms. Yeah, the rooms are really fun. I don't know. I love my home, and, um, I don't know if I told you the story before, how like, our window washer came here when we first moved here, and there was a really big, um, plaque in Sanskrit on the outside that said Om Mani Padme Hum, which is, like, a really important chant.
Yeah.
And we have, the window washer was like, "I know this place. I've been here before. There's been Buddhist monks who've stayed here."
No way.
And I have these pictures of the monks, like, and he's like, "Your house has been chanted over, I can't even tell you how many years." And honestly, you feel this land, and it's true. It's really, really special. You have to come
That just gave
visit.
me chills. I can't wait to visit. I'm definitely, the next time I'm coming home to see family, I'm coming to your home and seeing you there.
Please, please do.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for chatting with us. I feel like that's so beautiful
Yeah.
and inspiring for people, because I think what you do so well is it feels so effortless. I think that there's a lot of intention, I'm sure, but it does feel like just such a natural part of your life and your family life, and that it doesn't need to be big. It doesn't take a lot, to create moments of connection and to weave these rituals into our family life. That
Yeah.
they can be really small things that have a really
Yeah.
big impact.
Yeah. Yeah, doing it for yourself and your family, not for anyone else, I think is just actually the most important thing. That's the authenticity of all of it.
Mm, I agree. Amazing. Thanks so much
So
for
happy to
chatting.
talk to you.
Yeah, it's
Have
so
a
nice to talk to you.
morning. Have a good morning.
Yeah.
And you too, have a good afternoon. Um, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Family Home Podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, we'd love for you to read our new book, The Family Home.
Our book is full of thoughtful and achievable ideas for real family life, from clever storage solutions and shared bedroom setups to meaningful ways to display your children's artwork and how to make the most of small spaces. With stunning photography by our friend Amelia Rushforth, you'll see inspiring and thoughtful homes of all shapes and sizes, with so many ideas for creating a home that sparks imagination, encourages independence, and brings the whole family together.
You can click the link in the show notes for more information. We can't wait for you to read it.
Thank you.